Hey you! Are you struggling to keep your hair strong, healthy, and shiny despite all the products that have been recommended to you? Are you tired of having to wear a hoodie to cover your second, third day hair filled with oily sebum and yucky product buildup? Does your wallet feel like it can use a break? What if I told you 2 awesome hair treatments is all you need to solve all those problems? Interested? Grab a notepad to take notes on how I make and apply these treatments that'll transform your hair so you won't be needing that hoodie anymore. Hello! In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I make a couple of really awesome hair treatments. A deep conditioning mask and a leave-in hydrating tea. These remedies will help your hair and scalp stay healthy and hydrated, giving your hair natural shine and softness, and at such a low cost. Want to give DIY hair treatments a shot? Well then keep on watching. First, I'll show you how I make the tea, since it's one of the ingredients in making the hair mask. For this recipe, you'll need dry hibiscus flower petals. I got this from Etsy for like less than $5. Hibiscus is rich in vitamin C and amino acids. It helps with the blood circulation in your scalp, which helps promote hair growth. The keratin it produces strengthens your hair, preventing breakage. It also has a high moisture content that nourishes and softens your hair, making it its own natural conditioner. It can also help keep dandruff away. The next main ingredient is fenugreek seeds. I got this from a local Indian grocery store, but you can also get this online. These seeds are also high in amino acids that help grow and strengthen your hair. It has vitamins A, B1, and C, which gives your hair that shiny, healthy look. Fenugreek seeds also have antibacterial and antifungal properties to help fight against dandruff. The third and last one is optional. Dry rose petals. These are organic white roses I got fresh and dried myself, so I'm going to be using these. But you can get dry roses from Etsy as well. The pleasant smell from the roses keeps your hair smelling great, even on non-wash days. But that's not the only benefit of it. Roses, very much like hibiscus, is packed with vitamins that strengthen the hair and promotes hair growth. It's also very hydrating and softens the hair. Roses are great for the scalp as it contains antibacterial properties as well as antioxidants, which is really good in keeping your scalp clean, healthy, and dandruff-free. Just imagine how happy your hair and scalp will be from using this awesome leave-in tea jam-packed with nothing but beneficiary ingredients. Since the tea can only stay fresh for up to 2 weeks in the fridge, you're going to want to divide it up and save them for later in the freezer. I'm using silicone cupcake cups purchased from Amazon. Probably not the best option because they're really flimsy, but it's just the perfect size for the amount I like to use. You're also going to want a sealable container big enough to hold at least 4 cups of liquid, as you will be leaving the tea to steep for a minimum of 8 hours. Pantyhose, or in this case, knee-highs, is an absolute must. You could use a cheesecloth, but this is far easier, not to mention cheaper and environmentally friendly to use, as it can be washed and reused many times. You'll be using this to extract all the goodness from the ingredients. You'll see me using a funnel, but it's probably not necessary. So to start off, grab a medium pot and add 4 cups of water and bring to a boil. While waiting, you'll be adding 3 tablespoons of fenugreek seeds, 3 tablespoons of hibiscus petals, and since my rose petals aren't crunched up like the hibiscus petals, I just threw in 3 handfuls. When the water comes to a boil, take it off the heat and pour it into the container. Mix it around a bit with a spoon, then cover. We're going to let this steep for a minimum of 8 hours. You can let it sit for up to 12. Once it's done steeping, we're ready for extracting. Giving it a quick stir first. So I kind of messed up here. As you can see, I poured the tea straight into the measuring cup without covering it with the knee-high first. So I end up taking an extra unnecessary step. I use the funnel to help me pour all the solids into the knee-high in the container instead of just stretching out the knee-high around the rim of the measuring cup and pouring it in all at once. So really you don't need the funnel, if that makes any sense. Once I got all the liquid poured out, I ditched the funnel and dumped the solids all into the knee-high. To start extracting, you gotta squeeze all the solids down the knee-high and get as much of the fenugreek seed gel out as you can. Note that the gel extracted from these seeds does give you a light cast to break when your hair dries. It isn't to the extent of that of a flaxseed gel or a typical hair gel you buy off the shelves, so it's really lightweight and you won't have to worry about buildups or weigh downs, which is a huge plus for super fine hair people like me. You can stop squeezing when you notice that not much is coming out anymore. Stir in the extracted gel with the rest of the liquid. This might not be a necessary step, but I decided to use my fingers to try and dissolve as much of the gel as I could so it can all mix better. As you can see, the tea has now been reduced to 3 cups. Since the silicone cupcakes are flimsy, I'm going to place them on a flat sheet so they're easily transferred into the freezer. Each cup holds about a quarter cup of liquid, which is the perfect amount that lasts me 2 weeks because I actually dilute it with water later since the concoction is a bit too strong for my superfine hair. Experiment around and see what works best for you. Scooching the cups over to make room for 2 more since it turns out I need 10 cups instead of 8. I'm gonna throw these in to freeze for about 2 hours so they can harden enough for me to transfer them into a big Ziploc bag. Just thought I'd show you guys what the extracted solids look like. Looks a little bit like raw meat. Also wanted to show you that I washed the knee-high. All I had to do was flip it inside out, give it a quick rinse, and let it hang dry. Then you can put it away until next time. Okay, it's been about 2 hours. I'm gonna take these guys out so I can transfer them into a big Ziploc bag. These will last 6 months in the freezer. Now I'm gonna show you how I dilute my tea. Gonna leave one out to defrost. If you're in a rush, grab a bowl of warm water and place the cup on top. I put a little too much here, but hey, it worked. Once it's been defrosted, carefully pick it up out of the water by grabbing 2 edges to keep it from spilling. Grab a measuring cup and pour the tea into it. Should be about a quarter cup full. Now for me, filling the rest of the measuring cup with water until it's a cup full dilutes the tea perfectly for my fine hair. For people with thicker hair, you might just dilute it up to half a cup, or maybe you might not even have to dilute it at all. Go ahead and pour it into whatever applicator you choose to use. I find that spray bottles work best for me. You can spray this on damp or wet hair on a daily basis for soft, shiny, bouncy curls. The tea lasts 2 weeks in the fridge, so keep that in mind when figuring out your concoction. And now your tea is ready to use. I'll show you how I apply it later on in the video. Next, I'll show you how I make Ayurvedic deep conditioning hair mask. This mask's key ingredients use Ayurvedic herbs, which are medicinal holistic healing herbs originating in India. They are way more powerful than any deep conditioner bought in stores. It has literally transformed my hair. You can get these herbs at an Indian grocery store, but I highly recommend getting them from Henna Souk. They really know their stuff and care a lot about quality, not to mention inexpensive. For this recipe, you'll use both a teaspoon and a tablespoon. You're going to be keeping this mask in the freezer, so you'll need a sealable container. Now I have fine, short, sparse hair, so this amount will last at least a month for me. That is to say 4 to 5 uses total, as I only apply it on wash days, which is once a week. If you have thicker, longer hair, this might be enough for 1 or 2 uses, so feel free to double or even triple the amount that I'm using. Okay, so starting with the dry ingredients, we have henna powder. Note that this henna I'm using is used for dyeing the hair red. Next up is amla powder. Hibiscus powder. The packaging wasn't resealable, so I had transferred it into one that does. Aloe vera powder, same deal with the packaging. Now this one is totally optional. Henna Souk's Goddess Hair, which is a blend of fenugreek, rose, and aloe vera powder, which can be used as a mask on its own. I got it out of curiosity, so I'm just including it in my mask for more benefits. These powerful herbs heal, strengthen, and moisturize your hair and scalp, giving you healthy, shiny, and super soft hair that you're gonna absolutely love. Next up are the liquid ingredients, starting with my fenugreek hibiscus tea for an extra boost of hydration. Then we have honey. You don't have to use manuka, but I do recommend using raw honey as it retains its benefits unlike processed honey. Honey is not only antibacterial, but it's also super moisturizing. Next, we have mayonnaise. Yes, you heard me right, mayonnaise. The egg and oils provide a high amount of protein and moisture to your hair follicles. Then we have coconut cream. I like this better than coconut milk because it's thicker and richer. I meant to record myself opening the can to show you that it looks like it's all solid, but there's a bunch of liquid sitting at the bottom, which could give you an unexpected mess when scooping it out with a spoon. Turns out I forgot to hit the record button, but I did tell you just now, so you've been warned. Coconut has fatty acids that gives a super moisturizing and healing effect to your hair and scalp. It's especially great to use to condition damaged hair. Coconut cream doesn't last long in the fridge once opened, so I suggest you transfer it into a sealable container and keep it in the freezer. Now this is not a necessary ingredient. This is a deep conditioning mask that I used to use before I was introduced to Ayurvedic DIY treatments. I love this brand because their conditioners have great slip. It's no longer needed, but I'm using it because I don't want to waste it. Lastly, we have argan oil. This antioxidant, vitamin-rich oil nourishes and hydrates the hair and scalp, increasing elasticity and preventing breakage as well as split ends. And now to make our deep conditioning mask. We'll start with the dry ingredients. Add 1 teaspoon of amla powder, 1 teaspoon of henna powder, 1 teaspoon of goddess hair powder, again, this is optional, 1 tablespoon of hibiscus powder, 1 tablespoon of aloe vera powder. Give it a quick stir. Now we're gonna add 5 tablespoons of the Fenugreek hibiscus tea. I had initially put 4, but after mixing it up, I realized it was still too thick, so I added 1 more tablespoon to get it to the perfect consistency, making it a total of 5 tablespoons. Moving on, we're going to be adding 1 tablespoon of honey, about a tablespoon of mayonnaise. Next, we add a tablespoon of coconut cream. Again, make sure to seal and freeze the rest of the coconut cream instead of storing it in the fridge. Next, I'm putting a full tablespoon of the Briogio's mask. Remember, you do not need this in your concoction. Finally, we're finishing off with 1 teaspoon of argan oil. Give it one final mix and it's ready to use. Applying this mask once a week will give you the softest hair you never imagined you can have. I know this looks like a lot of work, but it's gonna be worth it. Trust me, I was never a DIY person. I was honestly overwhelmed when my hair advisor, as I'd like to call her, first introduced me to Ayurvedic herbs. But I was desperate for help, so I gave it a shot. I was shocked that my hair actually responded to something. I never realized how much potential my supposed dead curls had. It seriously brought my hair back to life. So I wanted to help anyone out there who has the same struggles with hair like I did. Next, I'll show you how I apply the mask and tea. Okay, so I washed my hair, wrapped my hair up in this microfiber towel. I'm gonna go ahead and apply the newly made hair treatment. Now I'm gonna warn you, this stuff could get messy, so wear something like a t-shirt that you don't care about. Don't do it over a carpet or anything that it's gonna be hard to get the stain out of, because I'm pretty sure this stuff can stain. So I'm just dipping my finger into the treatment and just directly applying it to my head, like this. And while I apply this, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys kind of a brief idea of what I do when I wash my hair. On wash days, I use my favorite shampoo, as you know, the Pacifica Pineapple Curls shampoo. It's important to note that when you shampoo your hair, do it with warm water, not cold, not hot, just warm. When you rinse the shampoo out, you also use warm water. I know this is a moisturizing treatment, but don't try to detangle with this too much because it's a pretty thick paste. Okay. So I'm just gonna twist my hair up and stick it. And then you're gonna take this plastic cap and cover your whole head with it. Then after that, you take this Heated cap, throw it in the microwave for 75 seconds. I already did that. And you throw it on top. And now you sit and wait for 1 hour. I used to do it for 2 hours, but I found that it gets harder to rinse it out. But I found that if you only leave it on for an hour, it all comes off pretty good. Alrighty, so I waited an hour for the treatment to sink in before rinsing out my hair. Just to let you know, the heat cap doesn't stay warm for the full hour, so you might want to throw it back into the microwave for 75 seconds every time you feel like it gets cold. I went ahead and just threw it back into the microwave only once, like 30 minutes in, so like halfway through. So just real quick, once the hour has passed, I hopped back into the shower and rinsed out the treatment in my hair using warm water. I rinsed out as much as I could, and if I feel like there's still some product left in my hair, then I use a co-wash. If you can't get all the treatment out with just water, then the co-wash will certainly get the job done. But try to rinse out as much as you can with just water first. After that, I do a final rinse. Now, it's important to do a final rinse using cold water because the cold water will close your hair cuticles. It will seal in the moisture that you just gave it. And this is one of the tricks you can do to keep your hair from frizzing later when it dries. And without further ado, I'm going to show you how I apply my Fenugreek Hibiscus tea onto my hair. So I go ahead and spray all over. I try to spray directly on my scalp as well, because I like to keep my scalp also moisturized. And then I run my fingers through to spread it out. And then what I do next, I'm gonna take my hair, flip it upside down, and gently finger comb, and then scrunch. And if you like to split your hair a certain way, mine works best if I split it this way. That's it. That's all you have to do, and you're done. If you feel like your hair is drenched to the point where it's dripping, you could take your microfiber towel or your cotton t-shirt, whatever you use to dry your hair, to lightly scrunch out the excess liquid from your hair. I don't normally do this, but that's a an option for you if you want. All I have to do next is let it air dry, and I'm done. That's it. That's all I have to do. This is all I use in my hair, and it gives it the perfect shine, bounce. It does so much more for my hair than any product I've ever used. Okay, so I'm gonna be back when my hair has fully air dried, so you can see the final results. So it's been about 2 hours. I don't think usually it takes that long for my hair to dry because it's really thin and short right now. Usually it takes about an hour, but I was doing other things like making the hibiscus tea and stuff. So this is what it looks like when it's dry. It does look still wet, but it kind of has a gel cast to it because the hibiscus tea has fenugreek seed extractions in it, so it'll leave a bit of a cast that requires you to scrunch out to break. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do in front of you guys right now. And then I'm just gonna put my fingers into my hair and do a little shake and rake and shake. Shake and rake. To give it a little bit of volume. So yeah, this is what it looks like. Healthy, shiny, bouncy hair without the use of millions of products. I kept experiencing so much product buildup. I just never got any proper definition, especially like curls from close to the root. That never even happened. That was impossible. At least someone with super thin hair, I need the least amount of leave-in product as possible. I couldn't be happier with the results. And this is all from just
one product. The tea lasts a long time, and even when you run out, it's really cheap to buy. So yeah, just to wrap up this video, I hope I was able to help anybody who is dealing with the same issues that I was. If you guys decide to try this, let me know if it works out for you guys. And with that, I will see you guys in my next video. See you later.